Yeah, dear students, I welcome you all for the online learning platform for the course Warehousing Automation. This presentation will take us to the next chapter in Unit 5, Advanced Technologies and Future Trends. So, in the Warehousing Automation course, we have started with the discussions in our previous online lecture on the title on the chapter Predictive Maintenance, and this presentation will take us to the learning of demand forecasting. So how demand forecasting can be done so that the efficiency of the working of an automated warehouse is going to be on the higher end. So that is what the thing we are going to learn in this particular presentation. So straight away we will get into the presentation of demand forecasting. So demand forecasting in warehouse automation uses AI and ML to predict future customer demand, optimizing inventory levels, storage and resource allocation for efficient warehouse operations. See, usually the efficiency of the warehouse is directly attacked by the demand. See, all of a sudden, if there is a surge in the demand, what happens is the warehouse will not be in a position to take out the demand and it will not be able to fulfill the needs and necessities of the customer. So when we are unable to handle, when we are not in a position to handle the demand, obviously we are going to lose the customer reputation. So if the customer reputation is lost, means obviously survival in the market becomes very tough. As well, retaining our market position also is going to be tough. So therefore we are forced to go ahead with adaptation as well as adoption of such technologies. So when we go ahead with the demand forecasting concept, so obviously it is going to use AI and ML algorithms based on the past data. It is going to help us to predict the future customer demand. So when we can anticipate, this is where the time we are going to have a surge in the demand, means based on that the inventory levels can be appropriately, it can be planned, or else human resource can be planned, or else the other associated elements of warehousing can be planned well in advance when we are able to forecast the demand. So what happens in its absence? Let us think in a opposite condition. If there is an absence of algorithm, we don't have any sort of demand forecasting as such, but there came an demand, means how do we tackle it? We will not be in a position to tackle. Some cases, what are the errors we discussed in the earlier case, warehousing process, the same errors, we are prone, we are susceptible for such errors, and obviously we are going to lose the customer repute. So that's the reason why we should have such things, and demand forecasting is going to help us to predict the demand in the near future. Okay, so what is the future period? What's the time frame? Okay, it is based on the necessity we can go ahead with. What will be the future demand at this year, maybe after 1 year, by September 2026, what will be the demand? Yes, we can predict. Or what will be the demand for the next month, October, by this duration, say October 19th, what is going to be the demand? So likewise we can think of. Okay, so the time here, the duration, the timeline is not biggest deal. The thing is the demand expectation as well as fulfilling is going to be the consideration. By analyzing historical data, market trends and real-time information, automated forecasting systems minimize stockouts and overstocking, leading to reduced cost, higher customer satisfaction and a more agile and responsive supply chain. See, whenever we start with any process, that is as far as the warehousing process is concerned, we have got two things. One is stockouts and other thing is overstocking. Both the things are not accepted. So how to go ahead with, let me give a very simple example. Let us assume we are running a confectionery, we are running a bakery. We don't know any sort of demand forecasting concepts, nothing we have planned. As such, we have not planned anything. So today, considering weekend, we just thought of say some 100 food items, say 100 cream buns have been planned, and it has been well in advance, it has been planned, it has been baked, and now it is ready for sales. Now what happens is, uh, without any sort of expectation, all the 100 got sold out within an hour. Usually that 100 used to be sold in a particular day, but within 1 hour or so the entire products have been sold out. And now when people are approaching, when people are approaching, what will be your answer? Your answer will be no, it got over, that is you are out of stock. So that is number one. Second case, tomorrow, believing yesterday's scenario, today you are manufactured to say some 500 cream buns. 500 buns have been baked, it has been made ready, and today only 100 people turned out, only 100 turned out. So what happens to the condition of 400, the thing what we have baked? It is perishable, even we can't preserve it. If it is an hardware or something like that, yes, we can expect some sort of sales maybe after a due course, but this is a perishable food item. Definitely it has to be consumed within the target date, within the due date. So what happens is that is overstocking. So the problem with a regular forecasting mechanism, when you don't have, in the absence of forecasting mechanism, we are going to have stockouts. Out of stocks are going to be the picture, and overstocking is also a bigger problem. Okay, we should not have in a higher end. So both these cases, or both the extremes are not, it is not acceptable. So therefore we are supposed to be in a very optimistic or in a very average base, where we are not getting either of these cases. So therefore what happens is a reduced cost, higher customer satisfaction, and a more agile, more responsive, more flexibility comes into the process, and we are going to have a responsive supply chain. This integration of predictive analytics into warehouse automation transforms inventory management from a reactive to a proactive function, enabling data-driven decision making and increased overall operational efficiency. See, at the end of the day, what we need to do is, we are not supposed to react, we are supposed to be proactive. Okay, be everything well in advance, we need to be equipping ourselves well in advance before we get into the actual process. So especially in the case of inventory management, that is the need of the hour, because we are going to invest a lot. Let me go for the same example. See, today I have made 100 buns, it got sold out within an hour, and tomorrow, without knowing anything, without having any sort of ground reality, without doing any spade work, I just manufactured some 1000, that is baked 1000 buns, and only 100 got sold and 900 are been there. Now what all are the sorts of losses are we going to use? The first losses what we are going to experience is the investment. We would have invested on the material, then energy, then human resource, whatever the thing we have invested on all the aforementioned cases, it's going to be a loss. So obviously we are not efficiently, or we are not even working in a very profitable case, at least to the minimalistic regard. Okay, so that is the thing. Operational efficiency should always be on the safer side, it should not be on the loser side. So that part, when you wanted to do, obviously we are supposed to have a demand forecasting, that is to obey or to integrate predictive analytics into the process. So therefore we can have a very good insight on the data driven concepts, and the decision making is going to be very good, and obviously our operational efficiency is also going to be good. Now, how the demand forecasting or predictive analytics works. Number one, data collection. So the systems gathers data. Okay, we gather the data from various sources, usually from the past data, historical sales, market trends, seasonal patterns, and current market condition. So now let me give a very simple example. See, now probably you would have seen the festivals are in the calendar. So maybe within a month or so, we are going to have continuous series of festivals. So now if you keenly observe, the textile shops, the ready-made shops, they would have completely got rid of their outdated products in the name of discount sales during the month of Tamil month of Adi. So during Adi, they give complete sales. That means what are the stocks they have got, so all those stocks are going to be sold out maybe at a heavy discount price. Okay, now what is the thing, what happens is, now they are going to completely rejuvenate their stocks, that is they are going to restock everything, and they are going to prepare themselves for the upcoming, say, Dasara, or followed by Deepavali likewise. Okay, so this is what is market condition. So we need to understand the market trends, how it goes on. Why? Because during Deepavali, obviously the people's purchasing capacity will be good, and we should know the past historical data, how it occurs. Then market trend we should know, and these all are the seasons. So these all are the seasons which, where people are obviously interested into it when compared to the first half of the year. First half of the year is going to be somewhere during exams, or there no much festivals are there of this grand gala. Only the second half of the year only has all such festivals, irrespective to the religion. So that conditions we should understand. Why? Because any product is going to be, obviously it is going to come either from a warehouse or from a distribution center to the customers. So we should have all this data readily available with us. The second, data analysis. Advanced machine learning algorithms and statistical tools models are applied to this data to identify the patterns and trends. So as discussed in the earlier unit, we had a technique by name decision tree, in which one type was called as a regression tree. So regression analysis, the concept I want you students to recollect that means it is going to get the mathematical relation between the input versus output variables. So there is a sort of interrelation, correlation among this input versus output variables. So this regression analysis, one such statistical technique which is going to get the mathematical models from it. Demand prediction. So now first data has been collected, now the data has been analyzed, say mathematical model, something like this has been developed. Now demand prediction. Based on the analysis on the system, the system predicts future demand for specific products at different times and locations. So that mathematical model can be applied. See, this demand may not be uniform across the country. So country, based on the geography, it is going to definitely change. So based on that, we can predict what is going to be the demand. Then the fourth step is automated actions. This prediction informs automated decisions or inventory ordering, storage space allocation, and workforce scheduling to meet anticipated demand. So we knew that for the next fortnight there is no demand, but then onwards there is going to be a surge in the demand. We can plan all such inventories, where if at all you get excessive goods, we know what is our capacity, we know what is the volume what we can accommodate. So it is going to be on to the next higher level. So where do we accommodate? All such thought process can be thought of. And the main thing is workforce. All of a sudden we will not be getting workforce. So we can think of hiring some service based kind, that is something like on a day basis we can hire. See, the concept we discussed earlier, no, RAS, robot as a service. So likewise we can get even people as a service we can get. Benefits of the automated demand forecasting. So what is going to be the first benefit is the reduced cost. So again I want to recollect the bakery example. So today we have invested for 1000 buns, and when there is no demand, why to invest a lot, why to waste money in this regard? So we are going to reduce our cost. Then improved customer satisfaction. So it ensures products are available when customers want them, leading to a better customer experience. So see, people come to a showroom or to a people in the sense, not don't think with respect to domestic example, even in an industrial example, somebody approaches an organization believing with a hope, they come to you in a belief that we'll be having everything readily available, or maybe within a least possible time you'll be able to supply their need and necessity. But when you are in a position to give a sorry status for them, do you think again they'll be coming back to us? They'll be in a position, they will be in a state of agony where the satisfaction will not be. But when we go with such technologies, no, it is going to be on the opposite. Increased efficiency. Yes, as we know what all are the things going to come in the near future. So based on that, we are ready to accept the change and we are ready to operate in a very effective way. So therefore efficiency is going to increase. Enhanced supply chain agility allows business to quickly adapt to changing demand and market fluctuation, creating a more responsive supply chain. So once you knew the fact that yes, there is going to be a surge in the demand, we can plan everything well in advance, because when everybody is in want of some resources, especially transportation, we may not be in a position to get all such things, especially during festival season, because they themselves will be engrossing into festival mood, or the drivers may not be available, some cases vehicles might be available. So likewise we'll be having issues with respect to supply chain. But since we are planning everything well in ahead, obviously we are going to be in the safer or safest position. Better inventory positioning. Yes, this is what we have been discussing a lot. How to go ahead with the orders, where to go ahead, where to preserve everything well in advance we can think of. Data driven decision making. So this is going to help us from reactive to proactive cases. We are not going to react. We are going to be proactive at the starting of the stage itself. We are going to equip ourselves and we are going to be ready for all sorts of action. Improvement in automated warehouse. When you go ahead with the implementation of such demand forecasting concepts, predictive analytics into the warehouses, what sort of improvements shall we expect? So the first improvement is leverages advanced technology. So what are the technological advancements are there in the market is going to be available inside our own organization, and therefore we are going to be a sophisticated one, and therefore we can understand the complex market situation, and we are going to be a step ahead when compared to our competitors. The second enhances data collection and processing. See, when you are using an AM and A&ML technique, it is in want of data, the past data, archived data. If such mechanism is not there, obviously we are going to be lethargic. We are not going to prioritize the data collection as well as data preservation. But since we are going ahead with like this, we will be keen enough to understand the data and to make the data in a very prompt, structured way, and we can preserve the data. We can have an archived data as a repository, especially by means of softwares like WMS or ERP. And today people pay by means of POS, point of sale machine, that is they swipe the card, by means of QR code they are going to sell. So all sorts of data will be in a position to gather, and it is going to be a repository. It is going to be the future. Okay. Improvement. The next improvement is real-time responsiveness. So on a real-time cases, we are going to work out how we are going to get the activity, everything. So real-time data is going to be readily available with us, and therefore whenever there is a immediate demand, a trigger is there, we'll be able to be proactive and we'll be able to supply. Automates inventory adjustments. See, everywhere you get into it, warehouse is going to be dependent 100% on the inventory management. Once you are very confident enough with respect to the demand and the consumption, obviously we are going to adjust the levels of the inventory and we are going to be on the safer side. Facilitates collaborative forecasting. See, now we will be in a position to accommodate various departments into our activity. So therefore what happens is we are able to get collaborative. Why? Because supply chain should come into picture, then inventory management comes into picture, automation comes into picture. So everybody is going to fall under one roof for the case of effective working of the organization. So therefore collaboration among the departments are going to be best. Now, how the future, see, already we are discussing about a future trend, but still how it is going to be in the future. While the vision of a fully touchless forecasting process is still evolving, the future lies in an hybrid approach that combines AI-driven automation with human oversights. So that's what we have been discussing by the term automation, where repetitive tasks are going to be replaced by some technology from the bunch of technologies, and now it is going to be an AI driven activity but under the supervision of a human. So likewise it is going to be, and the next activity is human planners will completely, the strategic decisions will completely be taken over by AI, ML and IoT based activities. So entire thing will be taken care, human calculations, because humans are supposed to experience errors, so such we can be free of errors, and therefore the systems, the algorithms, the technologies will take care. Of course human intervention will be there for the case of supervision. So with this we come to the end of the presentation. So we discussed demand forecasting in this particular chapter. So this chapter took us to the various insights of the activity, why it is necessary, what happens when we are in the lines of demand forecasting, when we don't do demand, what happens, with our simple examples we just discussed, and how the advantage is going to be with respect to the role of inventory management we discussed, and finally we just discussed, in addition to this advanced trend, how the future trend is going to be. So with this we come to the end of this presentation. So students, any doubts, kindly note it down. We shall discuss the same in our upcoming online discussions or during our regular offline classes. Okay. So thank you for your kind learning and happy learning. Thank you.